Warning, listening to the following podcast may cause your pharmacy to experience extreme success. Common side effects include of listening to this podcast are greater knowledge, improved performance, and higher revenue. This is the Pharmacy Podcast Network's coverage of the McKesson Idea Share 2017, recorded live from the Ernest Morial Convention Center in New Orleans. Sponsored by the McKesson Pharmacy Technology and Services Division, MPTS. McKesson Pharmacy Technology and Services provides pharmacy owners the technology infrastructure to manage, grow, and compete at a national level while serving their local communities with the best healthcare services. Be sure to listen to this special 12th podcast series dedicated to the empowerment and success of community pharmacy businesses across the country. And now, here's your host of the Pharmacy Podcast Network, Todd Eury.
Hi, this is Sue Longo with Star Drug Health Mart, and you are listening to the Pharmacy Podcast.
Hey Sue, welcome to the Pharmacy Podcast. How are you?
Just fine, you?
Very good. It's been exciting to be part of this show, Idea Share 2017 here in New Orleans, and I'm curious, I always ask all of our participants of the show, why do you invest the time and money to come to the Idea Share?
Because I want to see independent pharmacy here for a long, long time, and I think it's under attack, and I think unless we all get together and share ideas and help each other along the way to improve our situation, we are going to fall by the wayside.
You're absolutely right. I believe that as well. It's a time to be together, sharing the innovation of each of you, because there's so much creativity that comes from independent pharmacy. I've learned so many things myself. It's why I dedicate this podcast to the business of pharmacy. I'm really curious about the technology side of your business. So tell me, first of all, let's talk about Star Pharmacy. Tell me about where Star Pharmacy is and the demographics of your patients. For example, are you in long-term care? Are you doing community? Are you doing some compounding? And then I have some questions about your pharmacy system.
We are a rural pharmacy. We do just simple compounding. We do not do any long-term care. We're mostly a retail pharmacy, and customer services is our thing that we do.
Where is the location at?
It is down in Walsenburg, Colorado.
Okay, very good. And then you actually are a massive driver to get there too. How long does it take you to get there?
2.5 hours.
See, there's some dedication there. So tell me about your pharmacy system. Which pharmacy system are you using?
We use the McKesson PharmaServe system.
Okay. Why do you choose to use PharmaServe over all the other systems that are out there?
Well, over the years, and I've been doing this a while, pharmacy has changed, and it's the sad truth that now pharmacy is money-driven. It's volume-driven. It's not the customer service base that it used to be, so it's been quite a challenge to find a way to continue customer service and taking care of people and problem solving and staying within all of your regulations and still making money so that you can stay in business and do that. That's one of the reasons I like the PharmaServe. Their system is extremely easy to see what you're doing on a daily basis. So you can see if you're losing money right away, if you're not losing money right away. Post edits, they're great, but with the way the insurance companies are functioning these days, you need to be right there, right now. And if you have a problem, you need to fix it, because you may not be able to fix it 2 weeks later. So,
a patient goes to their doctor, they're prescribed something, and then 4 days later they stop taking it. So adherence is a huge deal, because it can put patients back in the hospital for not taking their medication. Talk to me about med synchronization and medication adherence and how Star Pharmacy is managing that for your patients.
I have done a MedSync manually up until today. I just took the MedSync class, and I actually can't wait to get back to the pharmacy and get it started in my computer. It strikes me as a really good program, because it's exactly the way I've done it manually, so it must be working. So.
Right. And tell me about patients that you see often. Are you leveraging a medication therapy management review? Are you doing counseling for them to help them to understand what they're taking, when they need to take it. Talk to me about patient care from that perspective.
Well, the nice thing about where I work is that people actually come in and they stop and they say hi, and I'm right there where the patient is. So when I get my MTM list, when I check it weekly and I find out who's on the list, I'm almost assured that I'm going to see them sometime that week, unless I put them on MedSync, and then I see them once a month, and then I'll call them. But I'm pretty much assured I'm going to see everybody about once a week.
So once you implement the MedSync program, I think another idea that I got from another pharmacist that is here at the Idea Share, he's actually going to take some of the literature to some of the physicians and show the physicians that you now have this program in place. And I think that partnership will help those physicians to express to their patients, here's a pharmacy that has some technology automation to help you stay compliant on your medication. So what ways do you think you could help to grow your own business based on leveraging technologies like that?
Well, I've somewhat used them already. I've already contacted the doctors and let them know that I'm doing that, and it's taken some people from 90-day supplies to 30-day supplies, but it's also improved compliance, and the doctors like that. I've changed some of the days allowed for controlled substances. And, once I talk to them, and it's usually either face-to-face or over the phone, they are more than happy to comply as long as they realize it's for the betterment of the community. So, I've had some struggles with that, but once they understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, they are actually very agreeable.
What's the best thing about being a pharmacy owner and serving your community as you do?
I'm not sure I can answer that. I don't know if I can tell you there's one best thing. I know that there's a great sense of satisfaction. I guess that would be the best thing. I feel like I've done something good for the community instead of just go through life and
right. You're not a clock punching type of person.
Haven't punched a
You're
clock
living
in
it.
30 years.
That's right. I feel the same way. So what do you think is the greatest challenge in being an independent pharmacy community owner?
Right now it is PBMs, reimbursements along that line. I don't believe that independent pharmacies ever got rich being an independent pharmacy, but they made a fair amount of money. It was reasonable, and I think that has slipped away from us, and I think it's going to be quite a struggle to get it back. In the meantime, there's a serious amount of problem solving to do just on a daily basis, because you can't serve your community if you don't have a business.
That's right.
To come to.
You got to be able to keep it going, keep your employees employed, and if you thought of Star Pharmacy in one magic moment being evaporated and gone, you think of how many patient lives and how many families that would affect in a negative manner. And I don't think PBMs look at it that way. They're looking at their stock price, and they're not paying attention to what an independently owned pharmacy is doing for its community. And I think that that's a huge shortcoming in being in a healthcare profession for that business side of it. Stop administering so many fees and so much greed that pulls out what is true patient care from an independent pharmacy. And I just think that it's a fight that we have to continue to come together and fight together however you can.
I'm totally in agreement with that.
Well, it's been absolute joy interviewing you, Sue, on the Pharmacy Podcast Show, and I hope to see you back in Idea Share 2018.
Thank you. I will be.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Dave Schultz from Tobins Pharmacy, and you're listening to the Pharmacy Podcast.
Hey, Dave. Welcome to the Pharmacy Podcast. How are you?
Great.
Hey, there's been some dynamic interviews I've done here. I always kind of start out with the same question because I'm very curious. What is it about Idea Share? Why are you investing the time and money to come to this show this year in New Orleans, investing, what you're doing here? Why is this important to you?
Well, I like to keep on top of all the different changes, not only in the practice of pharmacy, but as far as technology goes.
So tell me about technology. So you're using the Enterprise RX system?
Correct.
So tell me about the system, the ease of use, training your people. Tell me what you like about it.
Well, actually all those things you mentioned, ease of use is very important, and I like the enhancements that Enterprise makes as far as workflow goes. Some of the new like CPS that's being offered now, where you can start tying some of the clinical programs out there, not only canned programs, but allows us to develop our own programs based on what's important to our business and to our patients, improving their health outcomes, and also improving our bottom line by generating some additional revenue.
Are you using the CPS system within a medication therapy management program too?
That one we actually have not started doing yet. We're using it at this point for our own programs that we develop.
Very good. So tell me about Tobins Pharmacy. You're located where?
We are located about 25 miles west of Milwaukee in a city called Oconomowoc.
Oconomowoc. So I'm from Zillionople and went to Seneca Valley, and Monongahela is one of the rivers that's close to Pittsburgh, so I know all about the Indian names.
Yep. It's always funny for me to when I call in to different companies or talk to different people, and they're trained to not only say the name of your store, but they have to pronounce your city.
And they stumble over it, don't they?
They stumble, and I just say, it's Oconomowoc. It just flows right off your tongue.
Oconomowoc. Yeah, if you're from there, of course it is. Same with some of the cities that I've been around and a part of in the Pittsburgh area. So, when I think of a pharmacy owner's challenges, the very first thing I think of is payment for services that you're providing to patients, and sometimes you're not getting paid for it. So tell me about the world of DIR fees, how that affects patient outcomes, declining reimbursements, and the effect of independent pharmacies today.
Well, I can tell you from my perspective, it's something that has taken the fun out of pharmacy for me. It's sometimes difficult to come, to work with a positive attitude when you really don't feel you're being rewarded for what you're doing for the patient. So, I guess one regret I have with pharmacy is I didn't get involved with more of the political side of it a long time ago, because as pharmacists, where we have let ourselves be railroaded to is a travesty.
Right.
For what we do. To me, it's a terrible situation.
You're seeing the patient 10 times more than any other healthcare professional out there, and you're providing all of these additional services that your patients look to you for all kinds of advice over the years that you've been providing service. I've seen it. So I've been in hundreds of independent pharmacies throughout the years, and I see how the patient really looks to their pharmacist as that go-to for just about everything.
Yep.
Technology has to be efficient. It has to provide you with consistency. And when I think of Enterprise RX in comparison to other systems, what stands out to you? What stands out to you about that system over so many of the other pharmacy systems that are out there?
Well, again, I think it's the responsiveness of MPS to the needs of their customers. I know, some other systems we've looked at over the years, we just didn't feel comfortable with the feasibility of certain companies to be able to keep delivering on their promise.
Tobins Pharmacy is enormous. It's 20,000 square feet.
Correct.
So how does patients that you're servicing from a consistent perspective that are on some kind of medication regime, how are you servicing those patients that might not be able to get to you? That you're using a mobile delivery system of some sort. And do you do delivery to their homes?
We do delivery to homes, yes.
Okay.
For people that, cannot get to the store, we do a delivery service 3 times a week.
What about med synchronization?
We started doing med synchronization about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And we have worked our way up to currently 212 patients on that.
Okay. What's the difference between having a program that helps you with that versus in the days where you were doing it manually? Tell me about that.
Well, it makes it, I'm going to say, more efficient. It can be tricky, and sometimes not all your personnel is mathematically inclined. They're very good at other things, but
right.
Having a system that actually tells you, we need to short fill this medication. It's nice to be able to hand out to a patient a printout that says, on August 15th, we're going to be doing this. September 14th, we're going to be doing this. So it gives the patient a heads up as to what's going to be coming their way.
I think that develops a sense of confidence in you as the pharmacy provider, too, when they get information like that.
Yes, it does.
What about adherence? Do you think since you've implemented this program that you see your patients staying a little bit more adherent to that medication?
For the vast majority of patients, yes. There is a certain segment of patients that I don't think, no matter what you did, is going to improve their adherence.
Crazy humans.
Yes.
I really like hearing different pharmacy owners' perspectives on things. What's the most exciting? We've talked about kind of the DRR fee and brought the level of excitement down, but let's go in the other direction. What are you excited about in pharmacy today, and what do you look to the future? What are you looking to the future saying, I'm excited about this as a pharmacy owner?
To me, the most exciting thing will be when the pharmacist is treated as a real member of the team. And there are some people that are out in the forefront of that, driving that, the value of the pharmacist. And I think once that becomes the norm, that's going to make pharmacy an exciting career again.
I absolutely agree. Dave Schultz, Tobins Pharmacy, thank you so much for being on the Pharmacy Podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Pharmacy Podcast Network's coverage of the McKesson Idea Share 2017, recorded live from the Big Easy, New Orleans, Louisiana. This podcast is sponsored by the Pharmacy Technology and Services Division of McKesson, MPTS. Idea Share is about helping pharmacy owners and operators focus on improving their business knowledge, leverage the industry's most effective technologies, and deliver innovative resources needed to improve a pharmacy's performance and maximize profitability. Be sure to listen to all the podcasts from the Idea Share 2017 special series and contact McKesson Pharmacy Technology and Services to learn more about the latest in state-of-the-art technologies and the best software management systems available in pharmacy.